To their admirers, pirates are romantic villains, fearsome men willing to forge a life beyond the reach of law and government, liberated from their jobs and the constraints of society to pursue wealth, merriment, and adventure. 3 centuries have passed since they disappeared from the seas, but the Golden Age pirates remain folk heroes and their fans are legion. They have been the models for some of fiction's greatest characters: Captain Hook and Long John Silver, Captain Blood and Jack Sparrow, conjuring images of sword fights, plank walking, treasure maps, and chests of gold and jewels. Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Republic of Pirates, being the true and surprising story of the Caribbean pirates and the man who brought them down, by Colin Woodard. Really great book on the pirates if you're interested. So this book is kind of based off of, I believe the book is called A General History of the Pirates, which was written in the 1720s. It could be a little off on that date. This is an updated version and a revised version of that. Colin Woodard adds a lot of stuff to what was in there and also correct if there were any minor errors, and also makes it a lot easier for someone who's living in the 2020s to read it. So a little bit about the author, Colin Woodard. I'll just read his little snippet in the back. He's the author of American Nations, A History of 11 Rival Regional Cultures of North America, The Lobster Coast, blah, 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 Ocean's End, Travels Through Endangered Seas, which is kind of interesting. This is the only book of his that I've ever read. He is the state and national affairs writer at the Portland Press Herald, where he won a George Polk Award for his investigative reporting. His writing has appeared in the Smithsonian, Economist, Washington Post, The Guardian, the Christian Science Monitor, Politico, and many other national and international publications. He lives in Mid-Coast, Maine. So there's a little bit about Colin Woodard. So what is this book all about? It's basically a general history of the pirates. Now I will also make the point that this is a general history of the pirates surrounding the Caribbean and the coast of America. There's a lot of other pirates that Colin Woodard doesn't really get into, like in Africa and other things like that. But this is all based around Pirates of the Caribbean. So if you're interested in anything other than that, this probably wouldn't be for you. It's a book that focuses tremendously on the lives of pirates, and we follow a number of specific pirate stories. I listened to this on Audible, but there's a nice map at the beginning of the book. I didn't really show you, but it kind of shows you, 18th century Caribbean. It also focused on the golden age of piracy, which was actually a relatively short time period. But it's just some of the chapters I'll read off to you. Chapter 1, The Legend. Chapter 2, Going to Sea. Chapter 3 is War. Chapter 4 is Peace. And those 4 chapters kind of include 1696 all the way up to 715, which is kind of when the Golden Age kind of started. So Chapter 5 is Pirates Gather. Chapter 6 is Brethren of the Coast. Chapter 7 is Bellamy, so it focuses on that pirate. Chapter 8 is all about Blackbeard. Chapter 9 is Begging Pardon. A lot of this book also has to do with the government, the English government at the time, and working with all of that. Chapter 10 is Brinkmanship. 11 is Hunted, and the epilogue includes stuff about piracy's end, which encompasses all the way to 1732. Now, piracy isn't over. There still are pirates today, but this focuses on the golden age of pirates. When you think of pirates, this is the time period that you think of. Very, very short overall time period. It was really interesting learning about the pirates, and Colin Woodard does a good job where you kind of like root for the pirates, but then you also realize, well, no, they're criminals, and there is a lot of awful things in this book, not because of Colin Woodard, but just because of what the pirates did. I remember towards the beginning of the book, there's a really gruesome story. I can't remember which pirate it was, but just, doing awful things to a young boy. It's just disgusting. So pirates weren't generally good. I suppose they had good things about them. Some pirate, There's a lot of stuff in here also about the slave trade and how some slaves were actually able to join the crew, depending on what pirate you were working with. So, I mean, a lot of really, really interesting stuff. Gives you an idea of what America looked like, and the Caribbean looked like around the early 1700s. So, really, really fascinating book in that regard. Any pros and cons? It's pretty easy to read. If you listen to the audio book, I'll be honest, I probably missed quite a bit. Whoever was narrating it was not as energetic as I prefer in my audiobooks. It wasn't the worst audiobook I've ever listened to by far, but you know, at times I was like, okay, what did I just listen to? You know, so that would be one con if you go with the audiobook. I guess another con might be it's only based around the Caribbean, so if you're interested in other pirates, this book isn't necessarily going to be the book for you. I mean, it also leaves out some stuff. This is a relatively, you know, short book. It's like 350 pages or so, something like that. So it's not, you know, this huge novel encompassing everything about the pirates. But if you want just a brief overview, which is more what I was interested in learning about, this is a great book for that. Would I recommend it? Totally. I'd recommend this to anyone who's interested in getting a little bit more knowledge about the pirates and about that age. I think it's a really excellent book, and I would recommend anyone read it. It's really simple to read, nothing too over the top. Some of it's a little gruesome, like I said, but it's overall a fantastic book. So I would really, really recommend it. Anyways, I think that is everything. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I will do my best to keep the discussion going. So thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell button so you don't miss any of the videos with me. Comment below if there's any other pirate books. I probably will take a little break from reading about pirates, but if you can think of any, like, you have to read this, I will read it. So leave that in the comments below, and I will see you on the next video.